Well, I did it. I did it so you all didn't have to. I went ahead and gave Echo a shot. Um, Maybe I shouldn't have. I am shocked at the tomato meter scores and the audience scores. This show wasn't good. It wasn't. I can't believe that the quality of MCU has fallen so much over the last couple of years, and it's shocking to me. It really is. And is it that they're pushing the MCU as, honestly, what is her name? Alakwa Cox, or Aliqua Cox, I don't know how you say her name. The lead actress even stated, I think she was on the Today Show, and how the MCU is actually a thing. That's something that they've been pushing, is female empowerment. But regardless, with all of this, with everything that's been going on, whether it is all of this agenda pushing, whether it is all of the just poor writing and poor execution from Marvel, the fact that this show was able to get a 72% from the critics and a 65% from the audience is kind of shocking. I mean, this show was supposed to be 8 episodes. It got pushed down to being 5. And those 5 episodes are rushed. I mean, it is nonstop, in your face, just boringness is what it is. These trailers, everything they were trying to push is TVMA. Oh, it's going to be brutal, in your face, punching nonstop. Oh, all this action, all this fighting. There was hardly ever any fighting in this show. There was hardly ever a moment where I'm like, yeah, she's kicking ass. I mean, maybe in the first episode, which was basically 45 minutes worth of just re-exploring everything that we learned in the Hawkeye show, which, if you ask me, was kind of ridiculous because, again, we learned it in the Hawkeye show. Kind of like... So, one episode, I mean, and when you get down to it, this is just 4 episodes. This show was 4 episodes of nothing. This isn't to take anything away from Cox. I thought did an amazing job in the role. I thought she did great in Hawkeye. I guess, finding out that this was her first acting gig ever was Hawkeye into this, that's impressive. Very, very impressive. But this is a show we didn't need. And I get the whole idea, the whole aspect of, having that idea, having the representation of a deaf, quote unquote, hero. I get that, but do it better. See, this is the show we don't need. It's not that we don't need that representation. It's not that we don't need a character like that, because I think this character could be utilized and done well. They just didn't utilize it and do well with the character here. This is a show we didn't need. Very much so that they didn't focus on that aspect of her being a deaf child or a deaf character. They focused so much on this whole woman empowerment aspect, which, did they get the story from Kathleen Kennedy? I mean, it's shocking they didn't make her lame and gay. Well, she was lame. They just didn't make her gay. And that is a problem that we're seeing over and over again with Marvel, is that they're not taking the time to make a good story. They're simply like, oh, we need to push a woman agenda. Oh, we need to push this agenda. Oh, we need to push this. And realistically, when you take a look at the last 2 phases, phase 4 and phase 5, yes, they have been pushing a very strong female agenda. And again, it wouldn't be a bad thing if it wasn't to the detriment of the male figures that they had and have created. We've talked about this quite a bit in the past, and how even in Hawkeye, you made Hawkeye a joke. You've made these heroes a joke. Daredevil, First off, Kingpin, let's talk about Kingpin real quick. Kingpin is the bad guy. I get it. So you're going to make him the bad guy in the show. That's fine. Evil man, whatever. Daredevil, which they hyped up being in this show, they showed his entire clip, that entire fight that we talked about and showed just a week or two ago on here, on this channel, is all that Daredevil is in this show. And they hyped it up like he was going to be some big part of it. And he is a big part of the Echo story, yet we got one little fight. Kind of ridiculous, if you ask me. Every other male in this story was essentially pushed to the side or shown up by a woman. Again, something that they've constantly done in these last two phases. You don't need to push down. You don't need to put down men to pump up women. Like, you just don't have to do it. That's not how the men action films have been. That's not how we've pumped up men-led films or male-led films. Why is it okay? Why is that? And to sit there and say, oh, I'm sure I'll hear it coming, oh, you're just a misogynist. No. That's idiotic. Because I enjoy when a female protagonist is well written. When the supporting cast around her is well written. And they actually support her, and there's a reason that they're supporting her. And it's not just for them to be cannon fodder, to be tied up and be the quote-unquote damsel in distresses all the time, or to be shown up like, take a look, like in this show, the grandmother and grandfather, who seem to have like this great relationship at one point. But you find out that, they separated. Why? Because the grandmother's strong and she couldn't be with a man who believed that she was not being smart about the way she handled something. Like, it's stuff like that. And it was just ridiculous. This show was not good. The story was pretty bland. I mean, come on. It's time. Like, there's a moment in it where she talks and she says, "It's time for a queen. The kingpin is dead. It's time for a queen." There's even a moment where she goes, where Kingpin comes back and she goes and talks to her friend and goes, "He's handing me queen pin." What the? Like, come on. It's just ridiculous. It's getting out of hand. Marvel knew that this was bad. You can tell, it was 8 episodes. They reshot, re-edited, made it the best that they can make it. 5 episodes. Really, it's just 4 episodes when you get down to it. It's pathetic. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. Again, I think it's kind of ridiculous that this show, I'm shocked at the scores. I can't believe people actually enjoyed it as much as they have. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Hit that like button, hit subscribe. With all that said, I'll catch you all later.